then we talk about sales tax. So again, our taxes go in three different ways, right? So that we get property tax, income tax, and sales tax. There are a few other tax buckets or brackets, but they're not as common. So I just wanted to talk about these main three. So we talked a little bit about where the money goes. So what is the money? Like, where is the money coming from? So one is sales tax. So each state has a different sales tax. So you can see some states actually don't have a sales tax. So they're actually in gray. We have New Hampshire, which is right here. We have Delaware, which is right here. We have Montana, we have Oregon. These are all states that don't have a sales tax. So if you go buy a $1 McChicken from McDonald's in Oregon, you're paying $1. Versus if you bought one in Virginia, you're paying $1 plus 5.65% on that $1. So you end up spending $1.05, 6 cents. This also comes into play. Food and beverage has their own tax too. So you might end up spending $1.11 at a McDonald's for a $1 McChicken because there's a food and beverage tax as well. But the sales tax, you can see it's ranked, so you can tell by the number how high it is. So if you can see here, Maryland is number 38 and they're at 6%. So that means they're the 38th highest sales tax. If you can see, Tennessee is number 1 at 9.53%. So a $1 McChicken in Maryland will at least cost you, Maryland is 6%, that's going to cost you at least $1.06. That's not including any food and beverage tax. That's automatically because of sales tax. In Tennessee, that same $1 McChicken is going to cost you $1.09. So a little different. And that can add up very quickly if you're buying a larger item that's not $1 because the percentage is related to the actual amount. So now let's talk about property taxes. Property taxes are taxes that are added on to a house value. So if you buy a house for $500,000, your property taxes get added to it based on where you're living. So if you can see here, the lowest amount, 0.28%, is actually in Hawaii. That's number 50. The highest amount, which is 2.38%, is number 1. It's in New Jersey, which is up here. So you can see there's a pretty big difference. It's almost 10 times as much. So that means that let's try to figure this out if we lived in Hawaii versus New Jersey. And again, this doesn't mean that you're getting the same exact house because the housing markets are different. But if you bought a $500,000 house in New Jersey versus Hawaii, how much would you end up spending? So in Hawaii, it's 0.28%. So if you remember percentages and decimals, when we convert those, 1% is the same thing as 1 out of 100, right? 1% out of 100%. So 1 out of 100 is written as 0.01 when we write it as a decimal. So if we have 0.28% for Hawaii, 0.28% for Hawaii, that means we're writing this as 0.0028. Then for New Jersey, this is 2.38%. So we write this as a decimal as 0.023. So if we compute how much those will be for each, for Hawaii, we're spending $500,000 on our house and we're multiplying it by 0.0028. So in this case, I'm just going to multiply it by 28 and then add in my extra decimals. So if I have 8 times 0, that will get me 0 for all of these. And then 8 times 5, which is 40. Then I have this 2, which is really a 20. So I'm going to put a placeholder 0. Then I have 2 times all of these zeros. So that's another 5 zeros. Then I have 2 times 5, which is 10. So I add these and I get 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 4, and then 1. So again, because I had 4 decimals in my question, I have to have 4 in my answer. So that means in Hawaii, I'm spending $1,400 on property taxes. So pretty small amount compared to $500,000. So then let's compare that to New Jersey, where the property tax rate is 2.38%. So we're going to multiply our 0.0238 by 500,000. So I'm going to set this up right here. So, and again, I'm going to just multiply 238 and then make sure I have 4 decimals in my answer. So I know that anything times 0 is 0, so I'm going to place these 5 zeros. Then I have 8 times 5, which is 40. Then I have this 3, which is a 30, so I'm going to put a placeholder 0. Then again, I have my 5 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I have 3 times 5, which is 15. Then I have 2, which is really a 200, so I'm going to put 2 placeholder zeros. And then my 2 times these 5 zeros, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 2 times 5, which is 10. So I add these and I get 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 9, 1, 1. So remember, I had 4 decimals in my question, 0.0238. So I have to have 4 in my answer. So instead of the $1,400, in New Jersey, you're going to spend $11,900 on property taxes. So a pretty big difference, and the difference just keeps getting bigger depending on how much you spend on your house. So if you spend $1 million on your house, that difference between Hawaii and New Jersey will be a lot different.